Hey y'all, welcome back to We Seek Summits. We are going on to the next oil in our A to Ylang Ylang essential oil spotlight journey. And we are doing this little beauty, this little gem right here, Blue Tansy. This was newly released at the convention in 2017, and before that, there was the Deep Blue and the Balance had Blue Tansy, and I didn't know exactly what it was, but I was like, I love whatever this Blue Tansy is smelling like, and so then when they released it, I was so excited. So here it is. It comes in a 5 milliliter bottle, and like I said, this is a powerful, powerhouse gem of an oil. It is from Morocco. And I got a little trivia question for you. So the oil itself is dark blue, and we can talk a little bit more about why. But when you rub it on, you can't quite see it from here, but it's dark blue, and you can dilute it a little bit because it will turn your skin blue for a bit. But so the oil is blue. What color is the flower? Anybody? Anybody? Dominic.
It's yellow.
The flower is yellow. It's this little pom-pom of a flower, kind of a little poof of a flower, and it's yellow. But when it's distilled, Dominic can tell you more about that, it turns blue. And little quick trivia tip, it takes 3.8 pounds of the flower to make a little 5 milliliter bottle of oil. And I don't know if y'all buy like chamomile tea in bulk, but we do. And 1 pound of chamomile flowers is about this big. It's a big bag like this. So basically that is a lot of flowers, and this is very difficult to grow and distill. So we can talk more about that, and tell us about the chemistry.
Yeah, so as Jesse said, it's this little yellow flower called Blue Tansy from Morocco, and they take the flower, the stem, the leaves all together, and they steam distill it. Mm-hmm. And so I got me really curious, is like, where is this blue coming from? Because typically in chemistry, when you have real intense colors, it means the molecule has a lot of double bonds in it, and those double bonds like to absorb light and re-emit it real intensely. So it got us looking into it, and it's like, well, it's a yellow flower, the essential oil's clear, what's going on? Well, there's actually a reaction in the distillation process that creates the blue compound, which is called chamazulene. Now, when we got to talking about this the first time, I think we were saying, oh my gosh, there's some kind of byproduct, there's a synthetic compound in our essential oil.
Which is normally not a good thing, right? We don't want those artifacts. We don't want those byproducts from.
Right.
So tell us, why is chamazulene the exception? It's unique.
It is. So as just mentioned, like when you go through distillation, you can create what's called artifacts or byproducts is how I like to call it. So normally, let's take any other essential oil that's steam distilled, the producers are going to select the lowest temperature and pressure that they can to extract the chemistry or the full spectrum of molecules from that plant material. Now if you go too high in pressure or temperature, you start getting reactions with all that heat. These are reactive molecules.
Volatile, we talk about,
So in this case, the natural compound that is in Blue Tansy is called matricine. Now, matricine is kind of yellowish, clear. It's a very complex molecule. It's got a big 7-carbon ring, 2 little 5-carbon rings, and other functional groups off it. And you put this into the distillation process. You add heat, and this molecule is not quite stable enough to make it through the distillation process. So parts of it break apart, and it simplifies itself, becomes more compact. It's all these double bonds, and you end up with this structure where it's a 7-carbon ring and a 5-carbon ring, and there's lots of double bonds in there, and it's chamazulene. Now, some artifacts are not therapeutic, but this one is, and there's a lot of testing that has been done specifically on chamazulene.
Which is also in yarrow and Roman chamomile, but it is in the highest concentration in Blue Tansy.
In Blue Tansy, yeah. So it's a very soothing compound.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that when we start talking about applications. But some of the other chemistry, this isn't the only thing that's in there. You get a lot of monoterpenes in Blue Tansy. The most notable is saponine, which is very cleansing. So we'll get into it, but you can use this oil for skin, especially acute skin issues, for those cleansing properties.
Yeah.
And then camphor, which is a ketone, I believe. Yeah, it's a ketone. So camphor is another oil that's beneficial.
And there's a tree, and a lot of you might know camphor from, there's a certain rub that we would put on, that we used to put on, that we don't anymore, that had camphor in it. It was beneficial to breathing, so we thought, and that camphor came from turpentine. Yes.
They synthetically produce it.
Yeah. So we got camphor in here. So with that variety of the chemistry, is we were finding the list of things that Blue Tansy can do is incredible. Was that it for special properties?
Yeah, I mean, that's like Jesse said. There's yarrow, Roman chamomile, and Blue Tansy that have this chamazulene in it, so it's pretty special.
Yeah, it's pretty special. So talking as well about that for our emotional health, this is a great soothing oil mentally. It's a great clarifying oil. We put it in our sleepy time blend, the one we put in our diffuser at night, because it helps, as long as it doesn't help you necessarily like fall asleep, not like all the properties that linalool has, but it helps stay asleep and kind of help get into those deeper levels of really restful recovery sleep. So I think our nightly blend is we kind of pull together different soothing oils that we like and kind of make our own, whatever we're in the mood for. But you could easily start off with taking the Serenity and just adding a couple drops of Blue Tansy to the bottle and use that to diffuse nightly.
That's right. You get kind of the relaxing, soothing properties of this oil, and like just said, you just get that, I feel like you get that deep sleep when we use it. We wake up, feel rested. You know, we can tell when we forgot to diffuse it when we went to bed.
Yeah.
You know, our sleep's just not as good.
Yeah. Plus it smells amazing. Like, okay, so the smell.
It does. This, I love the smell of Blue Tansy.
I'm not huge on the florals, but I smell this, and it is floral, but it's also a little bit fruity.
It's sweet and fruity.
And a little bit musky, but not in like a heavy way. Like it just has a little bit more depth.
Yeah, I heard it described as balsamic.
Yeah,
balsamic
so you get kind of like an aged balsamic has a little bit of that musk to it. So this has a little bit of musk. So we really like it, but it's a very powerful oil. So just adding a few drops to whatever blend you use to sleep with this night is great. And then for emotional stuff, Blue Tansy helps to encourage activity. So if it's like lethargy or lack of inspiration or lack of motivation, or you're just having a hard time focusing on something, or just kind of blah, this would be a great one to use to help inspire those things, because it's motivating and it's uplifting, but not in the same way that like a bright peppermint or a bright lemon are. It's also grounding and focusing, but it kind of just helps overcome those negative, I don't know, what would you call it? Like just not wanting to do stuff. Like when you just kind of don't want to do stuff.
Procrastination.
Yeah, procrastination.
Yeah.
So at work or at school, if you homeschool, this might be a great one to make up a diffuser blend with Blue Tansy in it. And again, this is a very precious oil because it takes so many flowers. So what I would do is, you could easily do one drop in the diffuser, but each drop is precious. So I would take like an old bottle, or mix my own in here, or take a blend that I already like, and I would add a little bit of Blue Tansy to this, so that each time you're adding it to the diffuser, you're getting partial drops. So you still get all the benefit, but it extends the shelf life of Blue Tansy.
Yeah, I think that's a really good segue. So I think you were mentioning that Blue Tansy is in balance,
which we love.
And you want to talk about this one, which is probably one of your favorite oils.
Yeah, with your favorite. I was gonna say it's your favorite. So Deep Blue. We love our Deep Blue. It comes in a 5 milliliter bottle, and we talked about how Blue Tansy is soothing to the skin. I'm just going to quickly mention that it's also for anything that pops up acute, or like acne, or just anything that you've got going on skin. Bug bites, it's really soothing and calming to that, so you could add it to your skin products. Or it's also good for skin and soothing to muscles. So it's one of the main ingredients in the Deep Blue. The way we use this is I would do an Epsom salt bath and add a few drops of this to it to help soothe the muscles and help expel that lactic acid and help everything relax and pull those toxins out of the body. Dominic, you want to tell about your roller bottle?
Yeah, so one of my roller bottles we call light blue, which is a deep blue, and then you add the enhancer oil, frankincense, to it.
And it's like a 4-to-1 ratio, so 4 deep blue, 1 ratio of frankincense.
Yeah, so that's a great roller bottle. Of course, you know that Blue Tansy is in there.
Yeah. And in particular, I know a lot of people struggle with pain that originates in the lower back and runs down along the sciatic nerve. You know what I'm talking about. And compressed pinched nerves. So this is a fabulous blend for that. So you can use that light blue roller bottle, and that would really help with the lower back and the pain coming from that issue.
Yeah, so I think you probably picked up, you know, in the applications for Blue Tansy, we're talking about aromatic use, you know, diffusing it in the air, and topical use. This is not oil to take internally.
Yeah. It's also recommended to use diluted. So like I said, adding it to a roller bottle because it does turn the skin blue. Be careful, it could stain anything that it's on. But a benefit of that is you could color your own, you can make your own like, not food coloring.
Bath bombs or bath salts or...
I know, all the things that you don't eat that you concoct in your kitchen. So yes, like you can make bath bombs, or if you make your own soap, this would be a great way. You get all the huge benefits of Blue Tansy, plus a little bit of fun color.
Yeah, it's really good in the bathtub.
And then for blending, this is definitely one of those that is kind of your mid to base note. So you'd want to add some lighter things in it, and then maybe another like a wood or something. So I've got my little list here. So it blends well, recommended with clary sage, marjoram, helichrysum, which is another powerhouse flower oil, geranium, petit grain, spikenard, wintergreen, coriander, Roman chamomile, fennel. So yeah, have fun.
Yeah.
And then let's see, did we cover what other uses?
Well, you know, kind of going back to our nightly blend. So one of the reasons, I mean, we love the smell of Blue Tansy. I think that's maybe the main reason it's in
Cameron
there.
loves it too.
Yeah,
Cameron loves this oil.
It's just so soothing. But it's great for seasonal threats and respiratory support. So while we're sleeping and we're breathing that Blue Tansy, we're getting all that respiratory support as well.
So if you're somebody who struggles with that on a regular basis, you could take like Breathe and add a couple drops of Blue Tansy, or you could do the lemon, lavender, peppermint combination and add some Blue Tansy, or whatever you diffuse nightly, you could add that.
Yeah, the Blue Tansy oil, it's not gonna just open up your sinuses. You know, it's not an analgesic like other oils are.
Yeah.
It's more kind of playing that supporting role.
It definitely has antihistamine properties, though. It's antifungal, anti-allergenic. It's also a bug repellent.
Yeah.
Not so powerful, but it can be, you know, just one of those
really
things.
Good application. Now, just kind of going back to that, because it is a precious little 5 milliliter bottle, I think that's one you probably want to dilute it in some other oil. So like add Blue Tansy to lavender, for example. Go more heavy on the lavender in the ratio, and you can extend that. You know, if you're just going this neat or even slightly diluted.
There are about 80 drops. 80 drops per little 5 milliliter bottle, so just to kind of give you an idea of blending. Also, this is one, if you're a doTERRA customer and you're on the Loyalty Rewards program, this would be a great one to save up your points for, because you save up your points and then you get this beauty by cashing in points per product. And we can talk more about that. If you have any questions about that or you want to know more about that, we'll put a link at the bottom. Please fill that out. But and then also we talked about respiratory issues. It's also good for just digestive and intestinal issues as well. So applying that topically, or as you're kind of using that, just a neat little, that's cool. Did we cover everything?
Yeah, and muscle recovery. Jesse mentioned the bath, you know, approach a little bit, but also just topical use right on the muscles. You know, that's why Deep Blue is so good. You know, it's got Blue Tansy plus other oils that really help with muscle recovery, pain, and all that good stuff. And skincare. Skincare is kind of the real big one too. So I'm going to try and find a way to work this in. It is in the doTERRA's anti-aging eye cream, but I'm going to go see if I can figure out a way to add it to one of my facial things that I do at night. So if you've got any ways that you like to use it, please comment on that. Tell us how you love using Blue Tansy or what you combine it with. Yeah, get in those comments and let us know. And if you haven't already, subscribe. No reason not to. Because next week we're going to leave the B oils and jump into the C's. There are a lot of herbs coming up. So we get to be talking a lot about cooking, which we love. And next week is cardamom. It is. So we'll see you soon. Thanks.